Dearest mother, dearest father, this letter will be the very last that I write to you from the rising stones. As I commit these words to parchment, I fondly recall my journey as a scion.
Oof.
From the time I first walked into the Order's former halls, to the time I set forth to forestall the final days. At the farthest reaches of the sea of stars, we fought the battle of our lives. Fought against despair itself. A veritable maelstrom of it, fed by the resignation that dwelled in the hearts of beings not so unlike ourselves. Full oft have I harbored the same malaise. Have I been brought to my knees, crushed by the weight of sorrow and defeat, convinced that I will never rise again. However, I have also known many moments of unbridled joy and happiness.
Just making sure.
By this truth do I find hope within, blooming resplendent, like the Elpis flower. And thus do I endure. Do I look forward to creating more memories with my friends and loved ones. For from these fertile seeds, yet more hope shall spring forth. And they will grow to become shining lights that illuminate the dark. Thus believing, I leave the rising stones behind, as will my comrades. For, as we have decided, after careful deliberation, we are disbanding the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
There you are, Alphino.
Are they? Hey.
Everyone is already gathered in the foyer.
My apologies. I'll be right there. At least, that is what the story will be. Sorry to keep you all waiting.
What could you possibly have left to do now?
Oh, just a letter.
I imagine it will be a while before we can gather like this again.
So it must be, if we're to keep up appearances. From now on, it falls to the Grand Company of Eorzea and its allies to deal with the realm's crises.
Meanwhile, we shall return to our erstwhile ways. Retreating from plain sight to take our place in the shadows once more.
Indeed. For the foreseeable future, I expect that we must work independently as we seek out problems that want for solving. But a day will come when we face another great challenge, and we will face it together, as we always have.
As much as I look forward to that day, I do hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
Yeah, I could use a vacation. A very long one.
Well, formal association or no, if any of you should require my services, you need but ask. I'll be glad to keep my lance arm honed.
I'll hold you to that. So you had better keep your link pearl on hand.
Or we'll send the Lalafels after you again.
So you really mean to stay, Tataru?
Oh, someone has to keep the Rising Stones in proper order. And even a super secret organization requires a super secret base of operations. To the rest of the world, it will be naught more than a workshop for Eorzea's foremost up-and-coming artisan. If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait till I can devote myself wholly to the crafts.
Ah yes, the true endgame. She's done it. She's cracked the code.
Plotting to build a mercantile empire to rival that of Lord Lodorito, are we?
Oh please, my vengeance will be at hand.
I, for one, look forward to your future successes, Tataru. As do I our next meeting.
And with that, I believe it is past time you all made ready to depart. Leave no preparations undone or words unsaid, all right? Now, off with you.
Also, do I get one last moment? I get one last moment. Alright, hold on. Alright. Oh, they get their own things. Oh, is he going back to the moon? Autumn has still spoken with our comrades. Though this parting be not forevermore, 'tis nonetheless occasion for sorrow. Akin to a pixie's path, the navigation of such farewells is a perilous endeavor indeed. For their part, however, the Lobrits embark upon a new beginning. Though bereft of its purpose as a vessel, the moon yet remaineth hospitable for the creatures of the fairies. Thus do our lunar visitors convene with the Forum, intent upon assigning some new and beneficial role to our solitary satellite. Yet ere that may come to pass, there is much and more each party must learn of the other, a process which doth promise to be eventful indeed. To that end, a cadre of Lobrits hath gleefully dispersed across our lands in the name of mutual understanding. Hydaelyn, 'tis said, did imbue them with her love for all things born of the star. And 'tis Venat's own nature, I believe, which doth manifest in the irrepressible, inexhaustible curiosity of theirs. Having witnessed that which they strove to achieve, I wish most keenly for their long labors to be rewarded, that their abiding affection for man result in a boon for all. Moreover, I hope to continue our acquaintance, and share in such knowledge as they seem fit to impart. Acquaintance? I call it friendship. I did not wish to presume. I would be honored should they consider me a friend. For 'tis certainly true that I have grown fond of their company. They are fluffy. But I shall digress no further. This day should belong to the scions of the seventh dawn, to my incomparable companions. Oft times hath mine residience caused thee grief, and mine actions spurred allies to suspect betrayal. And yet here amongst you I still stand. No amount of words could express my gratitude for thine acceptance and forgiveness. Thus instead, do I offer my humble support. Be it unto the deepest abyss or the highest heavens, even if I must needs wander across stormy seas, ever shall I answer thy summons. Good, because we're going to be trust grinding for a bit. Elise. Autumn, seen to your preparations, have you? I'm just making another sweep of my belongings. Wouldn't do to find I've forgotten something halfway to my destination. Oh, and in case you haven't heard, we've received new reports detailing the devastation caused by the final days. It appears the situation is gravest in the lands surrounding the Bounty where the skies first began to burn. After that, the calamity was observed in the far north, in the Garlemald and the frozen lands beyond. We also had reports of the heavens catching fire in isolated locations, one of which was an area in the northern Empty. Had our quest taken any longer, Charlian too may have come under threat. Thank goodness it's over now. To be sure, blasphemies and lesser beasts may still be roaming about, but these localized crises should be well within the capabilities of each nation to handle on their own. The Scions are no longer needed. Which isn't to say we won't be we'll help out where we can, of course, as individuals. No more of this order business. As for my part, I'll be heading to Garlemald with Alphino. They were among the worst affected, and still need all the help they can get. Alright, stay safe, you two. Sorry for earlier. It won't be easy. An inevitable part of aiding those in need is coming face to face with tragedy. Knowing it doesn't make it any easier, though. That I'll curse my weakness. My inability to fix every problem and save every lost soul. But no matter how much it hurts, I won't give up. I'll do what I can for as many people as I can, begrudging no effort. And should I find myself discouraged, I'll remember you. Think back fondly to one of your many moments of triumph in the accompanying determined expression. Don't forget the solemn nods. Even though it still annoy me in retrospect, while you, like when you activate the oh gosh, she's gonna hold that over my head for the rest of my damn life, isn't she? And should you hear about me, I want you to remember too. Remember that I'm out there somewhere, trying my very best. No, I don't want to do that one. I'm looking forward to hearing all about the legendary Alice Levier. Not that I'm trying to become famous or anything. That being said, the next time we meet, I'll be vastly improved, so don't be surprised when you find yourself marveling at me. Can't wait to see her just like fully grown up. That's gonna be a treat. Alright, Alphino. I'm just gonna work my way from the respite to Graha. Oh, Autumn, pray forgive me for delaying the gathering. I was writing letters, you see, to my parents. As busy as father has been tending the aftermath of the Exodus, he has been good enough to show concern for the Scions. And besides, I've made them worry enough for a lifetime. Henceforth, I will endeavor to write as often as I am able. There we go. A little effort to set their minds at ease while we continue to be away from Charlian. Both Alice and I are off to assist with Garlemald's recovery, you see. Though uncertainty remains over what will become of the nation, we cannot well leave the capital in its present state. We will rejoin those members of the Ilsabard contingent still stationed there. Lucia and Maxima helmed the relief effort with support from our allies, the people of Garlemald among them. They will gradually be joined by those who have finished treating the temperate across the lands. Lest you misunderstand, we do not seek redemption for failing Licinia and her sister. This is a burden we must always bear. Nay, we go because of the truth in Lord Quintus's words. The truth that, whatever ideals individuals may espouse, nations are not moved to action unless they stand to benefit. For the foreseeable future, the fallen empire will be at the mercy of both internal and external forces. And though I do not doubt the intentions of the contingent, with greater powers involved in the relief effort, our allies may find themselves drawn into a political agenda. In going, we seek to ensure that the needs of the people come first. to understand their hearts, that we might help them to begin anew. I'll visit when I can. By all means, full glad would I be for your visit, and I speak for Alize as well. For fairly as long as I've been in Eorzea, you've been at my side, watching over me in good times and bad. How many times have we gathered to share tidings? None could possibly keep count. The world is changing and will continue to do so. Yet, no matter what the future brings, I hope I can ever look to you, in good times and in bad, as a dependable comrade and dear friend both. Thank you, Autumn, from the bottom of my heart. I'm just happy for him. Hey, Kryl. Oh, Autumn, how are you feeling? Any lingering aches or pains? Yeah. I can't apologize enough for sending Xenos to find you in Ultima Thule. When he came to me in Charlian, I was truly torn. As ever, there was only one thing on his mind. Forced to make a decision, I reasoned that, if he would not be deterred from seeking you out, that he may at least aid us in our cause. And so I struck a bargain. In the end, he was true to his word, and you defeated him despite your earlier exertions. But knowing the state you were found in, it could have ended very differently. My decision almost cost you your life, and no words could express the remorse I feel. It worked out. You did the right thing. Probably would have lost otherwise, honestly. It's a relief to hear you say that. Thank you. Time and time again, I've been made to feel woefully inadequate. I wasn't much use in battle, nor could I face the Forum without my nerves getting the better of me. I always fell to you and the others. I must and will do better. And I shall begin with the restoration of the students of Baldessian. Through our work, Charlian will strengthen its ties with other nations that we may be better prepared to face whatever threats arise in the future. Of course, this isn't something I can accomplish alone, but thankfully I have the staunchest of help in Raha and Nojika, and other remaining members. Together, we'll continue Grandfather's work. As before, certain commissions will take us to dangerous locales, and we may need to call upon seasoned adventurers. In such times, would you might be willing to assist us, not because you feel obliged, mind you, but because you feel a lure for the task itself. Yeah, why not? Marvelous. Should something of interest arise, I shan't hesitate to reach out to you. Till that day, I shall endeavor to become a more dependable comrade. Hold on, I'm gonna need some water for this. We got 4 to go. Thancred! Ah, our champion and savior. I was beginning to think my chance for an audience would never come. Oh, you. That sounded more amusing in my head. Speaking of heads, I was worried about yours. And the rest of you, for that matter. On the mend, I trust. More or less. Glad to hear it. You're in a bad way, and healing magic or no, I'm impressed by how swiftly you've recovered. Thanks, it's the robot body. And then again, 'tis hardly the first time you've cheated death. Your strength of will has never failed to astonish me. Look at what you've accomplished. Ye undefeated, your Song of Oblivion cut short, the source and all of her reflections delivered from the final days. If you had faltered at the last, then all hope would have been lost. But you held fast. Now Reen has a tomorrow to look forward to, and I can ask for no greater gift than that. As for a lesser gift, however, next time you see her, I would appreciate you not describing my travel plans before Rianche as aimless wandering. We have a purpose in our roaming after all, keeping an eye on things in the absence of the scions on the world stage. There will never be an end to the little problems that go untended by nations. We'll do our best to help out where and when we can. Which I suppose is an approach not far removed from aimless wandering when you get down to it. Perhaps you could tell her I'm faring well and leave it at that, eh? Hey, it works for, Lina. No need to mention this feeling of being uprooted. I've never been one to stand still for long, but when I think of homes, this rising stones which come to mind. How many times have we set up in this base, then to return when our work is done? On the day the Silence came together, I only hoped for Minfilia to find a place where she belonged, but never did I expect to find one here for myself. Indulge me, Autumn. I have a question for you. And imagine Minfilia herself is asking. Are you glad you joined the Silence? Best decision I've ever made. I can honestly say the same. But all good things must come to an end. At least for a time. Should you need a helping hand for infiltration or reconnaissance, you know who to ask. I'll come running, and you'll likely get a certain funny-talking fortune teller into the bargain. Oh, Pog! I love sales. Deals. Send you. Hey. I mirrored the grump. What's going on here? This is just gonna end in a stoic nod, isn't it? If you have something to say, then out with it. Wow! Just worried how you're in your keep now. You'll talk as if the Silence disillusion was more than mere pretense. There may be fuel calls to action, but we should be compensated as before. Why are you so concerned for me anyway? In any case, I do not want for options, even if some are worse than others. No sooner than Emery hear about our disbandment that he offered me a position as a guardsman in the Imperium district. As a former Ezra Dragoon, I'm guaranteed to be popular, he said. Wait, that's a new housing district. Aren't we moving a little fast here? Who does he take me for? Even without his medal, I am perfectly capable of finding employment. And have! Don't say Lolorito. Some days ago, a Honish envoy arrived with word from Vitra. The worm requests my presence as soon as things have settled here. He didn't deign to mention why I'm needed, but it pertains to dragons. I guess not. In Thavnar, like elsewhere, the phenomenon caused by the final days abated when you defeated Medion. But it was too late for those who had already transformed. Life is beginning to return to normal for the survivors. Of those who sought refuge in Starland, most have already returned home. But many do not have a home to return to, nor loved ones. By an arrangement between Vitra and the Forum, such souls may remain in Starland if they wish to work and study. Vitra was always the satrap in truth. It's gratifying to see him become one in name as well, or as the complete confidence of his people, if the envoy's tone was any indication. I often find myself speaking favorably via dragons of light. Not so long ago I would have assumed his benevolence hid ulterior motives. But 'tis clear he cares for his people, and they in turn revere him. To know such a nation may flourish is comforting. Vitra's kin sought release from conflict, so weary were they of the suffering it wrought, they surrendered to oblivion. But big Garsamir didn't give up. In hope, he made the journey to distant Etherius with his clutch of eggs. Though his progeny went on to be embroiled in conflict with men, there were times where they transcended hatred to abide in harmony. That is their legacy and their triumph. In my lands, I fear the weight of the struggle and the strength of their resolve. And it lends me strength. These things, I might never have learned had I not joined you. Should you ever have need of me, I will come. At the very least, it will be an opportunity to earn coin. Right, as you do. Stola! Oh, are we saying our farewells too? I hadn't at present planned on a journey of any great length. Not that I'm averse to a moment or two of quiet reminiscence. In fact, there was something I've been meaning to ask you, something that has been in my thoughts since the last flames of the final days subsided. During our travels, We have witnessed more than a lifetime's worth of oddities and spectacles, more than can be easily recalled or remembered. And nestled among those memories are certain essential facts, the history of Aetherius, the ancient glimpses of the Aya, of their cultures and philosophy. Rather than simply hoard such treasures in my mind, I wonder if I should not be disseminating them in formal records for wider consumption. When indeed, I have penned reports and prepared briefings, but ever I have balked at the idea of binding the subject of my studies notebook or tablet. Truth is given shape and interpretation. When we seek to capture it with our words, it is invariably molded to fit a narrative, no matter how well-intentioned the rendering. An event as described is described as sad, a summation which fails to express the emotional complexity, yet the word on the page is what endures, a pale shadow of reality. Throughout history, some may deliberately embellish the truth, but I believe many, if not most, deviations are the simple result of similar linguistic shortcomings, piling one on top of the other, until the end result is unrecognizable from the origin. Which is why I fear that writing an account in my own words would be akin to diluting fine wine with water. Yet even the potential for corrupted meaning, I do of course realize the importance of keeping written records. Without them, my search for wisdom would be a painful affair indeed. What do you say on the matter? Should I take up the quill, reflect upon those experiences only we have shared, and seek to preserve them for posterity? I have. Why not? Aye, let them be read and remembered. Very well then. I shall endeavor to pen what I can of the Aya and the ancients, and of so many other wonders. But I am no scribe. It will be less a polished work and more a reordering of scattered notes. In any case, I feel much better for having sought your opinion. Left to our own devices, we tend to overthink such things. Oh, trust me. I know. I will otherwise return to following where my curiosity leads. After all, a safe method of travel to the first yet eludes me, and our venture into the great expanse has prompted an entirely new set of questions. Should you stumble into the unknown, or struggle with some impenetrable mystery, know that I am at your beck and call. Never hurts to see things from a different perspective, and mine is rather different than most. I will not argue that point. I will simply move on to the other cat. Braha! Oh, Autumn, why you have a moment to talk? Yeah, that's why I'm here. When the silence stapling away from the public eye, I've been left to consider what new endeavors I might pursue. After speaking with Cryle, I've decided I will be assisting her in rebuilding the students of Baldessian. Not only am I indebted to Master Gallic for giving me a new home, but had our order never existed, I would never have set foot within the Crystal Tower. How different my life might have been. I would never have met you, never become caretaker at the tower, never become a scion. And all of us would probably be dead too, but details. You gave me the chance to do so much good, and I hope to continue to do so with the students. For an added benefit, new mysteries often find their way to our doorsteps, mysteries that could prove ideal for fulfilling our promise to embark on a new adventure together, unlike any we've experienced before. I'm glad you're holding me to that, because I want to. That's so cute. Whenever you have the time and inclination, my friend, I stand ready to accompany you into the unknown. Do you recall in the realm of the Omicrons, when I asked you, it asked if you thought I may be someday mentioned in your epic? God damn it, tripping over myself again. While 'tis true to earn a place at your side would be the stuff of dreams. In the end, nothing would give me greater joy than to stand with you in the here and now. In any bit of grand adventure, there needn't be a promise. Whether adventure calls, I won't hesitate to invite you. And I hope that you will do the same for me. As long as you don't overexert yourself. I know. I can all but hear Lina and Beck's voices each time you remind me. As much as we have already seen, there's still so much we haven't. Who knows? Perhaps we'll even encounter survivors of the Omicron somewhere out there. After all, given how they looked at the stars, it isn't impossible that some found themselves far from home. And should we encounter a wayward traveler, awaiting commands that will never come, I would bid them seek adventure with someone, and with that partner find a new purpose, a new dream. For if crystals can hold faster dreams, I don't know, Omicrons. Wherever your plans may lead, do not hesitate to send word, and should a commission of interest come my way, you'll be the first to know. And so it ends with Tataru. Spoken your fill, have you? If so, I'm thinking to send everyone off. Yep. With your permission, then. Your attention, please! After Mrs. Royal in the mood, the time of departure is upon us. In my capacity as your receptionist, I bid you all safe journeys. Till next we meet, be well. Oh. Doggo! Yeah! Hero is... Come on, you know who the hero is. Oh, please let that be the end of the song. I think it might be. Oh my god. Ah, doggy! The pupper is ours.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
Pack some warm clothes.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania. There is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library. And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Charlia before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to Rads at Han, will you not?
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
Quite right.
Indeed.
Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?